is an essay I wrote. It's titled, "It Was All a Dream," like that Biggie Smalls song. All right. Okay. Perhaps my favorite idiom related to dreaming is this: living the dream. It is typically spoken with a sense of defeated irony, as in, "Hey Jackie, I heard you quit your job and your boyfriend broke up with you." Living the dream. Or it is used in the complete opposite tone with a sense of neutered contentment. "Hey Jackie, I see with your time off and new open schedule you are spending time lounging on your porch you pay too much for." Living the dream. And then there's the rare but enchanting application of this phrase in which its usage is an expression of utter literality. "Hey Jackie, what's that look on your face?" Holy shit, dude, déjà vu. Déjà vu in French means already seen. In my world, it means living the dream and then forgetting about having relived that dream soon after the reliving has happened, because that is some crazy stuff to wrap your head around. Besides being the namesake of products that satiate the most base human experiences, for example, déjà vu showgirls in Vegas. Thousands of beautiful girls and one ugly one. That's their tagline. Or déjà vu nail spa, Gahanna, Ohio. Déjà vu is a scientific phenomenon that is still pretty much a phenomenon. About 70% of the population reports having some bout of déjà vu in their lifetime. These relived experiences happen most often in people aged 15 to 25. There's probably some significance to that age range being the most prevalent time to have déjà vu, considering that is the time, when your body and brain are growing and developing crazy fast. Déjà vu, in the few studies that have been applied to the research of it, has been connected to persons suffering from temporal lobe epilepsy. Déjà vu often occurs just prior to a temporal lobe seizure. Thus, I can get behind the scientific argument that déjà vu is actually not a living the dream moment, but a little brain hiccup. Your brain is readjusting itself, and in the meantime, during its technical difficulty standby, you are left in a state of pause. The scientific section of howstuffworks.com adds, "Since déjà vu occurs in individuals with and without a medical condition, there is much speculation as to how and why this phenomenon happens. Several psychoanalysts attribute déjà vu to simple fantasy or wish fulfillment, while some psychiatrists ascribe it to a mismatching in the brain that causes the brain to mistake the present for the past. Many parapsychologists believe it is related to a past life experience." Okay. Then, in a snarky addendum, the article reports, "Obviously, there's more investigation to be done." Obviously. Because past life experiences do not exist, duh. Or do they? At the very least, it is wild that the average healthy adult can experience what feels essentially like a few seconds of personal time travel. And capital S science can't really come to a consensus on what exactly that experience is or what causes it. All this mystery surrounds something that has had a name for centuries, something Beyonce has a song about, something that my iPhone autocorrects the spelling of so as to properly place the accent aigu over the E. I can't charge my iPhone on the new charger, but it sure won't let me send a text looking like an ignorant American who doesn't know her accent aigu from her accent grave. Psychologist Edward B. Tickner had an explanation for déjà vu, which he reported in his 1928 book, A Textbook of Psychology. Tickner said that déjà vu happened when a person had a brief glimpse of an object, place, or situation, and before the brain was able to completely construct a conscious perception of the experience, a false sense of familiarity appeared. Basically, your eyes are working faster than your brain. Well, the 1920s aren't exactly a shining star of psychological science, greatness, and/or accuracy. Freud. Lobotomies. But this explanation seems plausible until I consider my own experiences with déjà vu. My fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Spare, was the first person to reveal to me what déjà vu was. It was during group circle time, where all of her class members, smelling of Elmer's glue and Salisbury steak, sat in one giant oval on her classroom's alphabet carpet. During group circle time, everyone, one at a time, had to say how they felt that day. You had three adjectival options: sad, okay, or ecstatic. Yes, ecstatic was the word we used. I was often ecstatic. Probably because I like the word, which you word nerds will appreciate, or also I was very hyper. A classmate one day casually mentioned that she had just now, at recess, felt like she had already been at recess. She had dreamt it last night. I remember I have like noted in my memory that she said it casually because I think she had no idea if this was crazy or not, and no one wants to be the crazy one in 4th grade. See, also the kid who won't stop talking about his hamsters. This carpet square discussion could have turned all X-Files real fast, and I'm sure I was holding my breath until my teacher smiled knowingly. Ah, yes, déjà vu. I remember sitting in stunned silence that this had happened to me before. A lot, actually. I just thought it was weird, a little scary, maybe. And it wasn't that I didn't want to tell anyone I was experiencing déjà vu, it was more that I didn't have the vocabulary for it. I didn't know how to explain that this was happening. Perhaps I didn't even know that it was weird. I didn't know this was something other people also experienced. My favorite part of that memory is that some fabulous smartass, as we're all sitting there quietly pondering, announced, "Whoa, déjà vu!" For me, though, it was a revelation. It was kind of like when I found out that I didn't have to poop my pants anymore. How come no one told me about this before? In hindsight, it was a great lesson in not being afraid to talk about what happens to you. Chances are someone else is feeling the same way or experiencing something similar. And so you would think that déjà vu would be most terrifying as a child. I mean, déjà vu goes against everything you are told in the most paint-by-numbers way exists in the world. But I think the fear during a déjà vu episode is worse as an adult. Maybe not fear, but unrelenting imagination is unleashed. When I have déjà vu now, my mind races as follows. Hey, whoa, déjà vu. Why is my brain remembering this particular moment? This moment isn't special. Déjà vu never really happens to me anymore. Why would my brain pick this? Why am I dreaming about this? Oh my god, why this moment? Why this place? Am I going to die?